So, hello and welcome to Mindset Michelle TV show. It's Friday. Yes, we've made it to the end of the week, and what an amazing and incredible week it has been. I've been so honoured and so excited all week. I've hardly slept at all when I've been interviewing these incredible women each and every day who have shared so much of their time and their experience and their expertise with us on this fabulous celebration of International Women's Day. So welcome to Mindset Michelle TV for our Friday episode, where we have the amazing Kelley Wacher. So I'm so pleased, hello Kelley, I'm so pleased to have her here as my guest today. Similar to the other guests, Kelley is this award-winning, amazing, incredible leadership example. She is such a strong leader, and she's been in business for over 20 years, and she has such an incredible background and so many lessons from her background that we will go through some of today. And we'll get to hear so much of that incredible experience that has led her to be the incredible woman she is today and to be running such a successful organisation in corporate magic. So welcome, Kelley.
Hi, Michelle. Thanks for having me here. It's fabulous to be here. Talk about rising from the ashes.
Fabulous. Yes, that's our topic and our specific focus today. And I'm interested in if you can let people know a little bit more about yourself and how you came to be interested in that angle.
Sure. Well, firstly, Kelley Wacher from Corporate Magic, but the tagline for me is people say to me, "Do you pull a rabbit out of your hat?" And whilst I actually do have a rabbit, Michelle, it is not about me. The magic is in you, is what I say to people. So that's what this business is about. I have a degree in life. I have an education in life, and I am a classic example of the Kirkpatrick's learning model, where 70% of how I've learnt what I do, my trade, has been just doing it, just getting it done. And it's interesting because some people are very academic and some people are very kinesthetic, and I'm very kinesthetic. And it's like when I got to understand the trade that I wanted, then I just learnt it and studied it to become the person I am today. I was one of four children. I was the youngest child, so I immediately became a comic. I think that's that, because I don't like to say clown. My mother had worked 4 jobs and had 4 kids under 5, so I learned very hard, very early on, I should say, to work hard and model, be the best person I could be. As far as my career goes, I've had a very successful career in the travel and hospitality industries, and I have really loved it. And I'm still involved in that today, in the travel industry mentor experience, where I give time to people who and mentor people in that industry to be able to see their own potential. And so that's kind of where I started in my career. I moved into teaching and really modeling behavior and leadership, and into training and development within that space, whilst holding leadership roles in sales and service. And so I'm really passionate about those things. I just want to take a breath in case you've got a question.
I love it, Kelley, and it's okay. We have got half an hour, so we can take a few more breaths as we go along. But thank you so much for sharing so much of your incredible background, and I can appreciate that. Being the youngest of the children, it created that drive in you, that need to understand and to learn, and that's then come across in the different things that you've done throughout your life. Yes. And in the way that you're such a successful leader in what you do now.
Yeah, it wasn't, sorry.
I was going to say, out of all of those different areas then that you've studied and looked at over many years, what do you think has formed and created your idea of success now? What do you think success means to you?
Well, if I can tell you a quick story about this, I won't go into a whole lot of stuff because that's much more than half an hour, Michelle. But, when I think about success in a career, and I think about how I moved into what I do now, into this position where I'm helping people, and it's based on experiences that I've had in organizations, and particularly as we look at the International Women's Day and Week as such. And these are some of the issues that come up, haven't just come up for me, but have come up for a lot of people in the workplace. And whilst I had a very successful career, I did work for a few companies where people started to look at what you look like, the size of you. I had a boss who said to me, brought chocolate in for everybody. He said, but you can't have any because you're too fat. The same person sent an email out to a group of hotels to say she's very, very good at what she does, but she doesn't have a pretty face. And I laugh about it now because I've done loads of therapy, but you think about these things. And then I worked for a very big organization and was told to tuck my shirt in and wear more makeup. And it really started to become really evident to me that the value I was bringing in, my skills and my experience and what I was doing, wasn't working anymore, because people kept talking about what I looked like, what I wore, how much makeup I wore. And I went the last straw for me. I was working in an organization where he said to me, we need somebody very senior to meet the chairman of this company, but it can't be you because he might fire you because you're not pretty enough. It's got to be someone else. And I'm gobsmacked and appalled by this behavior now, right? But at the time, that was my last couple of years in hospitality, after I'd had such a wonderful time. And do you know what? I moved out of there and I left that organization and I went home, and for a week, I just went under the doona. Yeah. And I ate snack chocolate and watched reruns of Law and Order SVU, or any Law and Order for that matter, because I didn't know what to do with myself. I had completely got lost in all of this feedback that I had got. And it was the first time in my life, and people know me will know this, that I had nothing to say. And, my partner didn't know what to do with me. And this is where this whole concept of the Phoenix really resonates with me, because there's been a few incidences in my life where I've had to have that Phoenix mentality, but this was the real crux of it. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I just laid there and I thought, when you talk about mindset and determination, I just kept saying to myself, you know what, get up. You're better than this. And really sitting there and thinking, Kel, what are you good at? What can you do? What lights you up? And, just thinking about that, I just, I woke up the next day and I got up and I had a shower, and it was, for me, that's what it felt like. It felt like rising from a phoenix from the ashes. And I got up and I built a website that was the most hideous website you've ever seen, because I knew nothing about building websites. And then I went to a town hall station. They have one of those little card machines. You put your money in, it spits out cards with your name and your telephone number on it. That was my first business card. And so when you ask me that question, what do I think about success for me? It's that mindset is to be so powerful that you have the fight, the determination to live. Yeah. It's that concept of success for me is about being able to create better leaders of self. So self-leadership and self-awareness, better leaders of people, better leaders of businesses, better leaders of industries, because I don't want people to go through what I went through. And unfortunately, Michelle, it happens a lot. It happens a lot out there. And so, having a voice, this is the other thing around me for success, is that ability to be able to laugh out loud, to be able to cry out loud, to be able to have a voice and sing out loud. Yeah, I mean, there's a song in everything. And when I think about this theme, my songs, my personal theme songs, I get knocked down, but I get up again. And more recently, because I'm trying to get into the 21st century, is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Right?
I love those songs too. And I really hear, and thank you so much for sharing those examples with us. And I really hear that resilience coming through, and very much what you see as success now, which is the getting up when you've been knocked down. And I think as the theme for today, and as the theme to finish off International Women's Day celebrations, it's such a fabulous theme, because so many women, so many people have really been knocked down with COVID, with everything that's been going on, and they found it very hard to get up again.
Yeah, and this was just another example, because like everyone else, I've got a small business going through COVID where my business is based on standing in front of groups of people and speaking, and that just like disappeared. So again, I was much better at it this time around, but it's not, to me, it's not just resilience, Michele. It's not just getting through that moment, because when I think of resilience, I think about putting on your armor and getting ready to weather the storm. Yeah. But resilience, that's resilience to me. The thing is, when you take that armor off, then what are you doing? How are you using the words, your actions, your thoughts, and your feelings to move you forward from that point? Yeah. And that for COVID, I had the same thing. That first week of COVID was a complete state of disarray and discombobulation, but now, there's hope. There's hope. And the travel industry, which is an industry, as I said, that I was in for a long time, has been decimated. But even there, I see some hope now.
Well, that's very much where, whatever way you look at challenges, I believe that if you can reframe them into opportunities, then similar to what you're differentiating for you, I have a different theory about resilience, but for you, I can hear that it's more like the phoenix rising from the ashes, and that's that turning challenges into opportunities, and moving forward with whatever it is that comes up in your life and in your business, and having that mindset about getting out of bed and giving it another go. And that's a great way to then ask you about, what do you think are the key things? Are there a few key things that you think have helped you to build and create that successful mindset?
Yeah, I think the things is that absolute, as I said before, like my number one value, determination. So it's that absolute determination to do something. Yeah. And kindness for yourself as well as kindness for others. Because if you have kindness for yourself, then you'll have kindness for others. Yeah. It's knowing that you are absolutely worth it, and you are so amazing. You don't even realize how amazing you are. Yeah, that's number one. Number two is, find out what your talents are and do more of what you love. And, people say, well, how can you just do what you love all the time? And I really work on that 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, do what you love. 20% of the time, you're going to have to do things that are a bit sticky for you. Yeah, I say the same thing to my little boy. I say, son, 80% of the time, I want you to be good. 20% of the time, you can be naughty. 100% of the time, I will love you. So that's kind of the rule that I follow in most of the things that I do. And then the other thing is, your emotional state, your physiology, and your psychology are so important. And so what I get people to do is just, stand up, dance around. Honestly, laugh often and dance in your own lounge room. That will make you feel better at any moment of the day.
I love those 3 tips for people, being kind to yourself, and taking whatever is going on and reframing around being kind. And the second one about finding the talents that you'd love. So doing what you love and then loving what you do. And the third one around physiology and movement. So I used to talk a lot about mindful movement. So not just movement, but being aware of how you're moving your body and what you do for moving your body. Out of the many different, and I do hear how challenging some of those earlier experiences were, but
sure,
you obviously created who you are and were part of the narrative of your storyline, if you like, from being the youngest and then needing to study more and do more, and in looking through your CV, seeing that thread continue on to the numerous, you've done quite a lot of NLP and other trainings to become a very good leadership development specialist, and your dog's agreeing with me as I
sorry. She's
got to be live and have things happen live.
Sorry, the dog, the rabbit, it's all happening here.
It's wonderful. It's great. It's what's so great about being live. So I hear that thread about working very hard to be good at what you do and get more knowledge around it. And then sharing those 3 fabulous tips. But I'm really interested also in as well in out of all that, because that still sounds quite busy and quite animated and a lot of energy and a lot of work.
Yes.
If you were to step back from that a little bit and say, well, success is, whether it's an outcome or with a client or whatever, what do you personally in your everyday when you're getting up, is success, you've got through another day? Is success that...
Wow. Okay. So success on a daily basis, success is getting my little boy to school on time.
Yeah.
Is look, we all have busy lives, and my aim, and I can say it with less energy, but that's just who I am. But my aim really is to change the world one person at a time. Yeah. And so success for me is I feel like sometimes a holder of hope for people, and for me to be able to work with those people and have them pay that work forward. So it's not, I'm not doing all the work all the time, but what we're doing is we're creating a wave of hope in our society. And look, that's at the basis of it all. Without humor, that's what I want to do. I want to create a wave of hope in our society, from the top down, from the middle down, from the bottom up. I don't care which way it goes, because when people change their behavior and the way they think, they change the way they live.
What a beautiful, beautiful version of what success means to you. I love that, Kelley. I really love how it's being the holder of hope for people. I really hear that, and I really feel that as well, that with everything that you've gone through and the experiences that mean that you have that empathy, you can relate to people and you can understand what it's like working in some of those organisations where it's, being ignored, being bullied, being this, being ridiculed, whatever it might be, but then becoming the holder of hope for them, that you can see, and with your bubbly personality and the humour and everything that you bring to the table, having that to then help you to create that vision for success in other people. And I really applaud that. That's a beautiful sentiment.
Thank you. I mean, I've seen the worst of the worst and the best of the best, and I choose to see the best in people and try and bring that out. I mean, I did some work. I had a break from corporate and went into social work and working with kids with drug and alcohol addiction, and so I see potential from the kids to adults to where we are now, and I see the older you get, the more drama that goes into the little things, and and so that was really an eye opener for me around this success, because success to someone is to be able to read a book at 15, a golden book, or to be able to make your bed in the morning. So really, it is really about what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and your ability to rise through that and rise from the ashes.
And rise like the phoenix from the ashes. And I really love that information you brought in to remind everybody about, when children fall over in the playground when they're playing, they don't just lie there and go, oh, woe is me. They get up and keep playing, unless obviously it's much more serious. But as adults, we can actually, fall down at times in life and what we're doing, and forget how easy it is to get up, because we can, overemphasize that time of falling down. Not to minimize when it is difficult for people, but just to put it into perspective that not every time you fall down is kind of the end of the world.
And you've got the same thing there with voice. We tell children, use your words. But as adults, we don't know how to use our words. So I want to teach people how to do that as well, particularly people who are influencing other people. Behavior, it's all about behavior. And I've done, as you said, lots of study in strengths, in NLP, in archetypal coaching and matrix therapies with Pip McKay. I mean, there's so much that people have, so much.
I'd love to know more then about how much do you think play and playfulness, or having that childlike mindset, I use that a lot, but I'm interested in your thoughts about that as well, to do with helping clients, especially leaders and influential people who are very busy, very much in their head. So I remember one client when I worked in Chile, I actually created this whole biscuit landia. I created a whole world so that we would transfer from his very busy, he was head of Komatsu mining in Chile.
Yes. Yeah.
So we would, when we were working together, we would transition from Komatsu mining, running the company globally, over to this Biscuitlandia. And it was a way then of creating that creativity and that safe space to actually fail, succeed, whatever you needed to do in that playfulness. And how do you find, or what do you do with your clients to work through that as well?
Yeah, this is a great question. I mean, and you're talking to someone who has a wand, okay? So I'm the epitome of playfulness, and I'm the epitome of the Peter Pan syndrome, because I don't want to grow old. Because do you know what? People learn more when they have a willingness to be more open, and we have a willingness to be more open when we are in a better space. I'm not saying everybody has to be a comedian, but if you are able to hold yourself in a space where you are willing to learn more and willing to see different perspectives, then you're in a playland, because it's this absolute curiosity of the world around you rather than a judgment of the world around you. And so that's how I choose to live my life, is with a curiosity of the world around me rather than a judgment.
And that's where it's that childlike state. So as a child, you go back to being curious, and you're not kind of pre-programmed to think one thing or another. You're
Correct.
just open to the magic. And that's why I love you talk about, and your work is very much about bringing out the magic in people.
Yes, yeah. It's busting limiting beliefs. It's opening up the curious mind. It's looking at our potential. I mean, the magic is in you. It's not, people say, I've lost my confidence. I say, you haven't lost it. It's in there somewhere. We just have to bring it out.
So given that, with COVID and everything that's happened, there are a lot of people, and so I know you and I can talk about it as if it's quite easy to do, because we've done it for ourselves and we work every day with our clients doing it. But for those people that might be watching this and perhaps struggling a little bit, because, as much as they want to be, playing and childlike, etc., sometimes it can still be a little bit too hard for people. What mindset tips would you give for those, that it might be hard to get out of bed in the morning? It might be hard to apply for another job when you've just been rejected for the last 20 jobs. What would you say to them?
Yeah. And look, Michelle, this is a great question, because I haven't just studied the response to this question. I have been there. I've been there, and numerous times in my own life where I haven't been able to get out of bed, and there is just something, it's almost like that will to survive that you have to tap into. I mean, it's that will to be able to look at yourself. And for me now, what I do is I go, Kel, if I'm feeling like rough, or feeling, for whatever reason, whatever's going on. I mean, I'm still impacted by COVID, and I've given a lot away, and givers gain, I think. But it's also just saying, when have I felt my best self? Because when I feel my best self, that's when things come to me. And I'm not talking about being, ultimately positive. I'm talking, if I could explain it in this metaphor, Michelle, it's like a train's coming down the track. Okay. And someone with a really positive mind and rose-colored glasses would be like, oh, the train's coming and it's not going to hit me because I'm so positive, right? Oh, no. And what happens to that person? Splat. Yeah. I'm talking about a sense of optimism, that there has to be a light. The sun will come up tomorrow. And so instead, the train's coming down the track, and you see the train coming and you say, oh my gosh, there's a big train coming towards me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step to the right and stand back and let the train go past, so I get to live another day. And that's how I look at life. It's like, you know what? If I can see a train coming, then I have to just dig deep and find my potential to take a step to the side and allow that to pass so that I can continue.
And I think I love the train analogy, because one of the other things that it does for me is and I think for people watching it, it helps people to understand that things like COVID and what's happening in the economy are outside of your control.
Absolutely.
So you can't actually control it. And I love that example of, you just step to the side and you let COVID play out, you let the vaccine roll out, the whatever roll that play out, you let it all play out, because you're focusing on you and not on the outside. You're just stepping outside and away from it. And the same with the 20, 30 job rejections, etc. That's just where things are at the moment. it's
Of
hard
course.
to take it personally.
Yeah.
But to the side, yeah.
It's not easy, and it's not easy to not take it personally. But you have to know that there's something about you that is coming that will help you, that will assist you.
It's so true. And I'm sure that there's many questions that have come up with viewers. So I'm just going to have
Oh, really? How
on,
exciting.
and I think that this is the same viewer that keeps coming in and asking me about, yes. So thank you, Wayne. Wayne keeps asking me and all of my guests this week, what advice would you give to your younger self? What would you say?
Oh, all right. Oh, I've got some great advice for my younger self. Firstly, don't eat that strawberry donut. It will sit with you forever. That's number one. Number two, don't ever get drunk and ask for a pay rise. It's a career limiting move. Okay? If they don't see your potential, find someone else who does. Number three, don't give up the piano, because music is so important. All right? Music, honestly, songs have pulled me through. Honestly, songs. Always be your authentic self. So, as my little boy says, Mum, just do you. Right? And you know what? This is a big one for me, is surround yourself with people who believe you and believe in you. Yeah, because they see the potential even when you don't see it in yourself.
That is so true. And it's such a part of, I think, the gift that I have felt myself doing these interviews all week and talking to specialists and experts like yourself, where I've been feeling that wealth of knowledge and surrounding myself. And anybody watching this, please do reach out to these experts I've had on the show. They, as you've seen, beautiful human beings, and they all have incredible stories. They haven't just arrived as senior successful leadership women. They've actually had times where they've had it tough and had to learn how to get out of bed in the morning. So please do reach out to them and reach out to others to create those group of people around you. And I love the keep singing. That's something that for me has really resonated throughout my different years as well. And also the whole keep going that I really sense every time I speak to you, and the whole focus on just keep going. You're going to get there, and knowing somewhere inside of you that you have that value, you have that worth. And what I love, and I'm sure for you too, is that the work we do is we help others to see it in themselves. It's there, like you said, I'm not procrastinating, I'm not this, I'm not that. We see those wonderful, incredible things and help others to see it in themselves.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just a little bit at a time, Michelle. It's not, you don't all of a sudden wake up and go, woohoo, here I am, Wonder Woman. It's sometimes it's just a day at a time.
And sometimes, yes, it's using that magic, wonderful wand of yours. And
that's it.
It's as easy or as simple as planting that seed. And then once you plant that seed, you can support people. And that's what the support group is for, to keep moving forward. And I know that we could keep talking.
Oh my gosh, I could talk forever on this topic.
But if people do want to connect with you, what's the best way of connecting with you, Kelley?
Yeah, sure. Go onto my website, www.corporatemagik.com.au, or LinkedIn me, and I'm happy to. I know I have a half an hour discovery call that I offer the people, so please come and talk to me. I'm really happy to talk to anybody. I love that whole concept of connecting with people.
Well, and it's been so fabulous having you on the show today. And
thank you.
You were definitely, for me, the cherry on top. The cherry on top of what has been a smorgasbord of incredible women and incredible insights this week. So thank you very, very much for being on the show today, Kelley.
That's all right. And for those who don't like glacé cherries, I can be the flake in the top as well. Is that okay?
99 flakes. That's it.
Michelle, thanks for having me here. It's a topic that I'm very passionate about. I truly hope that came across. I just really want to see people fly.
That's wonderful. And yeah, of course, we shouldn't be a glacé cherry only show. out there with the 99 flakes. And there's people out there that did hear earlier when you said don't eat the pink donut.
The strawberry donut. Oh my gosh, right up there with the strawberry Freddos.
Yeah, that's it. Or perhaps we could be saying, the carrots and all that alternative choices of food and food.
That's right. Oh dear.
Oh, wonderful. Well, so thank you so much, Kelley. And
thank you.
Incredible having you today. And thank you to all of the incredible viewers out there for watching throughout this week. Myself and my guests, on behalf of them as well, I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting International Women's Day and for supporting this year's theme of choosing to challenge. Each one of us, not just this week and not just today, can actually move forward from here and keep choosing to challenge. We have the power, I really believe, and as you've seen, all of my guests this week have really believed. So I'd like to thank Nina, Louise, Angela and Monica, and today Kelley. We all believe in you, and we all thoroughly spend our lives, and we're all very dedicated to supporting you to be the best that you can be in whatever you do. So as we come to a conclusion for International Women's Day, and my last time saying, until next Tuesday, when we go back to the weekly Mindset Michelle show, until then, be great, be fabulous, and be you.